Archangel Michael says, there is a ticking moment wrapping itself around your destiny, and the hands of the clock are beginning to tremble. A shift has already occurred, though you haven't felt the full blow of it yet. Your soulmate, yes, the one destined for you, is packing more than just their bags, they're packing the silence you never knew was cutting them. You may not know it, but the countdown has already begun. Whispers have turned into decisions, and decisions into actions that can't be reversed unless something shifts now. They are holding something in their heart that they believe you no longer see, and they feel invisible in your presence. Their soul has wandered far, not physically, but emotionally and spiritually. The connection you thought was unbreakable is under attack, and someone has whispered poison into their thoughts. There are forces at play here that want to sever this divine tie forever and never let your hearts beat in sync again. Comment, I receive this message, if it stirs something deep inside you. This is not a warning to scare, it's a divine revelation wrapped in urgency. The energy surrounding your connection is cracking like glass, and if you don't mend it soon, the shards will remain too sharp to walk upon again. Type Amen to get blessing 333. They used to look at you like the sunrise, they saw hope, warmth, and a future. But lately, they've been seeing shadows, doubts, and detours. The person you love is fading slowly, and not because they want to, but because they think you've already chosen your path, and it didn't include them. Archangel Michael says, you were meant to build something eternal with this soul, but the cracks began the moment you stopped noticing the little things. They waited for you to ask what's wrong, to pull them in, to fight for the connection. But your silence was louder than their cries. They replay your words in their mind each night, trying to decode whether you meant to push them away. It's not a third person destroying this, it's the space that grew between two hearts that stopped meeting halfway. But you still have time, if you act now with truth and urgency. There's something they saw, something that broke them. They won't talk about it, not because they're hiding, but because they believe you wouldn't understand. But that secret is now the wedge standing between your hands and their heart. Type Amen to get blessing 777. They used to smile just by hearing your voice. Now, they flinch inside every time you grow distant. They still love you, but love that isn't nurtured turns cold. There's someone nearby who's trying to take your place in their life. That person is watching for your mistake, your delay, your silence, so they can swoop in and claim the love that was yours. Your soulmate is more vulnerable than ever right now. There are photos they've looked at recently, memories from the beginning. And in those pictures, they see two people who promised forever, but they wonder if you still mean it. They don't want to leave, but they're preparing to, just in case the universe confirms what their heart fears. Archangel Michael says, this separation doesn't have to happen, but heaven will not intervene if your soul remains passive. Divine unions require effort, just like prayers need faith. Are you willing to reclaim what heaven tried to bless you with? Type Amen to get blessing 1144. There's a letter they never sent you. It sits in a hidden place, soaked with words they were afraid to speak aloud. In it, they said goodbye more than once, but they also prayed you'd feel it and stop them before they vanished. They're friends no more than you think. One of them even encouraged this separation, whispering bitterness in moments of weakness. Be careful who speaks into your soulmate's ear when you're not the one speaking into their heart. The dreams you once shared? They've started dreaming alone. And the version of the future they now imagine is missing the sound of your voice and the warmth of your laugh. It terrifies them, but they've stopped fighting the fear. They are watching for a sign from you. Not a message, not a gift, just a moment of realness where they feel you reaching into the chaos and pulling them back. The question is, will you give them that sign before it's too late? Type Amen to get blessing 919. They haven't stopped loving you, but they have started preparing for life without you. The pain of feeling invisible has hardened their hope into defense. They're guarding their heart because they once gave it too freely to you and now feel it was ignored. You said something one night that you don't even remember, but they do. They repeat it to themselves as proof that you've emotionally left them. That sentence, short as it was, might be the reason they're closing the door now. Comment if you feel this in your spirit. Because right now, a spiritual wall is being built between you and them, brick by brick, moment by moment. And soon, they may forget what it felt like to be chosen by you. Archangel Michael says, your destiny is crying out for you to take this seriously. This is not a random loss, it's a test of heart, faith, and action. You must act before this divine person walks away, leaving only the echo of what could have been. Type Amen to get blessing 1221. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Someone else is feeding them attention. Not love, just the illusion of it. Your soulmate knows it's not real, but it's better than being starved of affection. They're being shown what it feels like to be prioritized. And while their heart still belongs to you, their soul is growing tired of begging for space in your life. That tiredness could shift into finality, and when it does, they may not return. Your soulmate wanted to grow with you. But somewhere along the way, you stopped watering the connection, and weeds of doubt and hurt began to take root. They are now wondering if you were ever ready. There's a message that you must send, an apology, a memory, a confession of what they mean to you. Not just once, but a consistent signal that you're still in this. They need to hear that they matter before someone else convinces them they don't. Type Amen to get blessing 456. Their silence isn't indifference, it's heartbreak hidden behind strength. They've cried more than you know. They've prayed for signs, and this message is one of them. They're being pulled in two directions, stay and fight or leave and protect themselves. Every day they delay is a battle between love and disappointment. If they walk away, it's not because they didn't care, it's because they cared too long with no response. They were your divine mirror, showing you the parts of yourself you tried to ignore. And now, they feel rejected not just by you, but by the version of themselves that believed in this connection. They're grieving someone who's still alive, you. This isn't just about losing a person. It's about losing a part of your soul that was meant to walk with you forever. If you allow them to disappear now, you may spend a lifetime trying to find what heaven gave you once freely. Type Amen to get blessing 000. They heard someone laugh at the way they still believed in you. That laugh broke something inside them. It made them realize they were the only one still fighting. You didn't mean to hurt them, but sometimes neglect wounds deeper than cruelty. They've grown used to pretending, smiling through the ache, acting like nothing is missing. But the emptiness is becoming too heavy to carry alone. They still check their phone for your name. They still pause when someone mentions you. But they're tired of being the only one who cares out loud. This message is their last plea in the spirit, one final tug on your heart. If you feel anything as you read this, don't wait. There are only hours left before this tie snaps beyond repair. Type Amen to get blessing 3333. They want to be chosen, daily, intentionally, and without question. They don't want to be loved out of habit but loved with presence and passion. And right now, they don't feel either. Someone from their past recently resurfaced, and though they're not interested, they're confused. Because that person is offering the attention they used to receive from you. Your delay is giving space for temptation. Archangel Michael says, the enemy works best in silence, your silence. Don't give darkness the final say in something heaven placed in your path. This love was never ordinary, and the fight for it shouldn't be either. If you knew what they said to God last night, you'd cry. They asked for a sign, one last divine sign that they are not forgotten. And this is it. This is the moment that determines everything. Type Amen to get blessing 1010. They once said they'd never leave, no matter what. But even the strongest soul can break without support. Even angels get tired of holding others when no one holds them back. They are waiting, watching, and wondering if you'll finally show up with your heart open. Not in fear, but in faith. Not in apology, but in action. Time is moving quickly now. What you don't say will echo louder than what you ever meant to say. This message is divine rescue, but it comes with a condition: act now or lose the sacred forever. Their departure isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. If they leave, your soul will feel that absence for a lifetime. Don't let a lesson come in the form of a goodbye you weren't ready for. Type Amen to get blessing 1444. They are at the edge now, emotionally torn, mentally drained, and spiritually tired of waiting for you to realize their worth. You once made their world feel like home, but lately, they've been feeling like a stranger in the very connection they helped build. Each unspoken word, each moment of neglect, has been a silent goodbye in disguise. Your soulmate still believes there's a chance. But belief alone is no longer enough, they need to see, feel, and hear it from you. Their spirit has been trying to hold on, but the gravity of loneliness is dragging their hope into the dark. They didn't fall in love with you just because of how you smiled. They fell because you made them feel seen in a world that often overlooks gentle hearts. But the person who once made them feel chosen has slowly become the reason they now feel abandoned. Comment now if you feel something pulling at your soul. That tug isn't guilt, it's grace, trying to wake you up before regret wraps itself around your destiny. This message is divine timing knocking, one final chance to rewrite the ending. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. They're not angry, they're wounded. There's a difference. Anger fades, but wounds linger, especially when the person who caused them refuses to acknowledge the pain. Someone recently told them to move on. That they deserve better. That they've waited too long for someone who no longer sees their value. And they're starting to believe it. This is the moment when love becomes a memory unless you bring it back to life. The decision to hold on must come from both sides. Heaven doesn't force free will. If you stay silent after reading this, the silence will become permanent. Archangel Michael says, your silence will echo louder than thunder in their spirit. And when they finally leave, you will not only lose them, you will lose the version of yourself that was becoming better because of their love. Type Amen to get blessing 808. They had dreams, about marriage, about children, about building a life with you. Those dreams are now fading into dust as time moves on without reassurance. They are watching the life they imagined with you disappear, and it's breaking them piece by piece. They wanted you to ask what was wrong, to hold them close without needing a reason. But instead, you distanced yourself, assuming they'd always be there. Love doesn't survive on assumptions, it survives on effort. Their favorite song doesn't feel the same anymore. The places you once visited together now feel like haunted memories instead of happy moments. And that ache they carry? It's not just emotional, it's spiritual heartbreak. They waited for a miracle. But now they're preparing for closure. One more night of waiting, and they might never look back again. Type Amen to get blessing 6767. They saw a version of you that no one else did, your softness, your fears, your heart behind the walls. They embraced all of it and still stayed. But even the strongest hearts grow weary when they aren't met with the same intensity. You still live in their heart, but that heart is now bruised. You didn't mean to hurt them, but you did. And every delay in healing makes the scar deeper. They talk less now, not because they have nothing to say, but because they believe you no longer listen. Their silence is not peace, it's surrender. And surrender always leads to goodbye. Archangel Michael says, stop underestimating how rare it is to be deeply loved by a soul like theirs. If you lose this, you won't just lose them, you'll lose the universe's greatest offering to your journey. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They once wrote your name with stars in their notebook. Now, they erase it in their thoughts so it won't hurt as much. They're not pretending, they're surviving. You were supposed to protect their heart. Not become the very reason they guard it from love now. You were home, and now you're the ghost that walks the halls they're trying to escape. Their pillow knows how many nights they cried over you. And still, they kept showing up, hoping, waiting. But now, they're starting to believe they were only in your heart temporarily while you were permanent in theirs. Comment, I feel this, if your soul stirs. This isn't a message you found by accident, it's a divine reroute before destiny shifts forever. Type Amen to get blessing 1122. Someone else has started noticing them. They don't love this new attention, but it reminds them of what they're missing. It's dangerous, not because they want someone else, but because they're forgetting how it felt to be wanted by you. You could still change the ending. You could still pull them back with one word, one call, one act of vulnerability. But that window is closing faster than you realize. Their soul is tired of reaching. Their hands have grown weary from holding on to something you barely grasped. And yet, deep down, they still wait for you to fight. Archangel Michael says, heaven has been silent long enough. Now the truth has been spoken, and the next move is yours. Will you reclaim what was meant for you or let the sacred become scar tissue? Type Amen to get blessing 5151. They wrote poems about you. Not on paper, but in their spirit, in the way they smiled when you entered the room. Now, those poems have become eulogies of what once was. They miss you, not just your voice, but your presence, your warmth, your heart. But every moment you spend ignoring them is another seed of doubt that grows into a forest of distance. They don't want perfect. They want real. They want effort. They want to know that they matter to you the way you matter to them. Is that too much to give before you lose it all? Comment if this message reached the part of you that still believes in love. Don't let pride cost you a lifetime of peace. Type Amen to get blessing 3131. The night you felt off? That was the night they prayed for a sign. This is it. The heavens aligned this moment to shake you awake before final separation. Their heart still beats with your name. But it's slowing, tired, heavy, and unsure. You still have time, but that time won't stretch forever. Every love story ends, some in togetherness, others in regret. Your chapter hasn't ended yet, but the ink is drying fast. Pick up the pen and rewrite what heaven offered you. Archangel Michael says, the soul that God paired with you is about to be claimed by the silence you created. Say something. Do something. Be something, before it's too late. Type Amen to get blessing 2344. Their scent still lingers on the things they held close to you. Their favorite mug, your shared playlists, the photos you took together, those are the relics of love in decay. Don't let it become ruins. They are not a memory yet. But if this moment passes without your action, they will become just that, another what if in the story of your life. Don't mourn them later, save them now. The future you saw together? It's vanishing like mist. But if you move now, with humility, with passion, with truth, you can still resurrect it from the ashes of misunderstanding. This is your last divine warning. The next time you feel their absence, it may be permanent. If they disappear, your soul will forever whisper their name into the void. Type Amen to get blessing 4004. They tried everything to stay connected, text messages filled with love, subtle touches, warm eyes across the room. But the cold in your silence kept freezing every effort they made. And now, their soul is wrapped in layers of numbness, not because they stopped loving you, but because they're tired of loving alone. They didn't ask for perfection. They only asked to be seen, to be chosen, to be held through the chaos. Instead, they were made to feel like a burden, like their love was inconvenient, like their presence didn't make a difference anymore. Now they wake up and don't check their phone for your name. That's not healing, it's grieving. A slow detachment that hurts more than rage ever could. Comment now if this truth stings. Because that sting is your heart telling you it's not too late, but it will be, very soon. Divine timing doesn't wait forever. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. They're talking less to others about you now. Not because they've moved on, but because they're tired of defending a connection that only one of you seems to value. Their friends used to envy your bond, now they pity it. That one moment, when you brushed off their vulnerability? It shattered something inside them. Not because they're weak, but because they were brave enough to show you their heart and you didn't protect it. You were the safest place they ever knew. Until one day, they realized that silence from you hurts more than rejection from the world. And now, they're building a home within themselves, a home that no longer includes you. Archangel Michael says, your soulmate's heart has been on fire trying to light yours. But flames burn out when left unattended. This was a divine fire, don't let it turn to ashes. Type Amen to get blessing 8228. They don't want material things from you. They never did. All they ever wanted was your time, your heart, your presence, your realness. The connection you had wasn't just emotional, it was soul deep, generational, spiritual. But it has been under attack by your delays, your distractions, and your detachment. Now the bond is unraveling thread by thread. They used to dream of a wedding with you. Now they dream of peace, even if it means walking away. They never wanted to choose between you and their self-worth, but they're being forced to. There's a place they go to cry that you don't know about. A sacred space where they speak to heaven, asking if you're still the one. And lately, heaven has been silent. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. Someone in their circle is encouraging them to forget you. This person is using your absence as proof that you were never serious. And your soulmate is starting to wonder if they were right. They are not running away, they are retreating. Pulling back, not because they want to leave, but because they're trying to survive your silence. Survival isn't love. It's what happens when love becomes starvation. Their hands once reached for you with joy. Now, they tremble before trying again, afraid you won't notice. They are growing used to emptiness, and that is the most dangerous feeling of all. Comment if this hits a place in your memory. Because somewhere in your heart, you still remember the day they looked at you like you were their miracle. Will you be that miracle again, or the loss that taught them to never trust love? Type Amen to get blessing 7878. They still pray for you. Even now. Even through the heartbreak. They don't want revenge, they want your healing. They want your heart to awaken. Archangel Michael says, this person is your reflection in another soul. If they leave, you will lose a part of your divine design. Some connections aren't just romantic, they are assignments from heaven. You were meant to protect them, to grow with them, to elevate together. But time is cracking that covenant. One more missed moment, and the future you were meant to create will belong to someone else. They are not the type to beg. But their spirit has been kneeling in silence, hoping for you to rise and claim what was always yours. Will you wait until someone else places a crown on what should have been your kingdom? Type Amen to get blessing 3030. They've seen signs lately, numbers, dreams, names. Everything reminds them of you, even when they try to forget. But those signs are becoming quieter, because heaven does not shout forever. They've been writing your goodbyes silently with each unanswered message, each broken promise. You don't even see it happening, but they do. And they've already pictured their life beyond this heartbreak. You may think you have time. But time is only an illusion when it comes to soul contracts. Once the spirit decides it's done, no amount of apology can restore what negligence shattered. There's a specific date marked in their spirit. If nothing changes by then, they will walk away and never return, not because they stopped loving you, but because they started loving themselves more. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. That place you always went together. They visited it last week. Alone. And they cried the entire time. Not because you weren't there, but because they finally accepted you might never be again. They held on longer than most would. They gave you more chances than anyone should. And they still believe in you, but belief without action becomes bitterness. You're not losing just a person. You're losing the one who would have built a future beside you through storms and sunshine alike. You're losing the prayer you once forgot you asked for. Archangel Michael says, heaven rarely grants a second soulmate in one lifetime. If you don't act now, you may spend the rest of your life remembering a love you let die in silence. Type Amen to get blessing 50/50. They still wear your favorite hoodie. Still have your photo in their drawer. Still listen to that one song hoping you'll text at that exact moment. That's how real it still is for them. But real doesn't survive on memories. It needs presence. It needs proof. If you continue as if nothing is breaking, then everything will. You once looked at them like they were the answer. But now you treat them like a question mark. And they're tired of living in uncertainty while giving you everything they had. Comment, I will not lose them, if this truth is waking you up. Because love like this doesn't come twice, and if it walks away, it won't knock again. Type Amen to get blessing 6969. They kept all the little notes. The birthday messages. The screenshots of conversations when you said, I'll never leave. And now, those messages feel like ghosts. They didn't fall in love with your words. They fell in love with your presence. And lately, your absence has been louder than every sweet thing you've ever said. They're not leaving because they want to. They're leaving because they feel they have to. Because staying feels like slowly dying while waiting to matter again. Archangel Michael says, this is your final call. Either you show them the love they deserve, or the universe will reroute their soul towards someone who will. Type Amen to get blessing 40/40. Their goodbye won't be dramatic. It'll be quiet. One day you'll go to reach out, and they'll be gone. Not with hate, but with peace. A peace that says, I waited, I tried, I released. They'll love you even after they walk away. But that love will no longer be for you. It will be a lesson etched into the core of their being. A love that reminded them what they should never accept again. You'll miss them in the little things. The way they laughed. The way they noticed when something was wrong. The way they whispered, I believe in you, when no one else did. If you still feel their name echo in your soul, this is not the end. But the next moment could be, unless you open your heart, reach out, and fight with all you have. Type Amen to get blessing 1616.